yeah, I'm 10, 12 years in. I got 4 MVPs and 4 championships. Like, but do I still want to do this shit?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you know how hard it is.
Some people say, I want to go play baseball.
Yeah.
I twisted my ankle, and I had a teammate, David Greenwood. He says, you know, you twist your ankle, young fella, come over and sit with me. You know, this is, you need to. I said, no, man, I'm trying to make a name for myself. There's no way I can sit. You know, I need to get out there and show what I'm capable of. I want to play. I want to win. I want to make an impact.
To have a long career, that's the goal, to be in the league for 20 years. I tell you, that's the goal.
We come to practice, he's on one leg. Like he was hurt the second year, he was on one leg the whole year and played 82 games. Wow. Like, and so he practiced every day and he played every game on one leg. And so you're like, man, MJ, why don't you just sit up? How can I be the leader of the team and sit out and y'all going through all the credit?
Kevin Durant just stepped over a line nobody expected on LeBron's podcast, and he did it with a straight face while the cameras were rolling. He slid in a slick jab at Michael Jordan like it was nothing. And LeBron sat there laughing like it was all a joke. They really thought nobody would check them on it. But they were wrong, because Jordan didn't have to fire back with loud talk or attitude. The facts spoke for him. And once those facts hit the light, they made a lot of people rethink what they believed about today's NBA stars. The whole Mind the Game podcast was sold as raw basketball talk from 2 players who lived the grind, who understood the game from the inside. That's the image they pushed. But here's what it actually turned into. 2 dudes kicking back, sipping wine, trading stories, and tossing shade at the legends who built the league they benefit from today.
You know, there's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% at all times. So, you know, if I burn out, I burn out.
Pierce had it poked away, stolen by Jordan. Lojas down on the floor. It's loose to Humphries. 4 to shoot. Humphries 3 in it.
You like the idea of Jordan coming up with the steal.
Oh, look
again.
at that. The 40-year-old dives to the hardwood.
What do you think of when you hear the term load management thrown around?
It shouldn't be needed, first and foremost. You know, I never wanted to miss a game because it was an opportunity to prove. It was something that I felt like, you know, the fans are there to watch me play. I want to impress that guy.
You know, it's all about winning championships and winning.
And when you watch closely, there's always a little mission behind the convo, always a certain direction. They try to steer it, and somehow that target almost always ends up being Michael Jeffrey Jordan. During one episode, a fan asked them about the triangle offense. Instead of breaking it down or giving any real insight, LeBron and KD shrugged it off like it was some dusty old playbook from a forgotten era.
All right, Laker Nerd asks, why is the triangle offense less utilized in today's game?
To try to run the triangle offense right now, it'd be very challenging, just because how the game is played and also how defense is covering.
10 to shoot. Jake going right to the rack. No defensive communication.
Why is ring culture so much more prevalent in the NBA than in other sports?
Yeah, it's funny, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the A-all, B-all of everything.
They brushed it aside like it wouldn't mean a thing in the modern NBA. Then they drifted into the whole ring culture conversation, talking about how championships are overrated, how everybody puts too much pressure on rings, how it shouldn't define greatness. LeBron even went as far as saying he doesn't get why rings are treated like the ultimate measurement in basketball. Just think about that for a second. The man whose entire career has been compared to Jordan is suddenly acting like championships aren't the point anymore. But that still wasn't the moment that shocked people the most. Durant started going on about longevity, painting this deep picture about how tough it is grinding past year 10 or 12, talking like he was sharing hidden wisdom from the mountaintop. And then he dropped the line. Some people say, "I want to go play baseball," he said, with that knowing pause. Then he smirked and added, "Some people say, I'm going to go 22 straight." LeBron cracked up immediately. The camera caught everything. He knew exactly what Durant was hinting at. They were comparing Jordan, stepping away from basketball to play baseball with LeBron, pushing through 2 straight decades in the league. And in that moment, it wasn't just a casual conversation, it was a message loud enough for everyone watching to catch. They were framing it like Jordan quit, like longevity should matter more than dominance. But here's the real problem with Durant's cute little comparison. It completely wipes out the real reason Jordan walked away in 1993. And once you know the truth, the whole joke hits differently.
You know, the fans are there to watch me play. I want to impress that guy way up on top who probably worked his ass off to get a ticket or to get money to buy the ticket.
You really cared about the guy who sat in the top deck at the Palace in Auburn Hills to watch you when you came to Detroit?
Yeah, because I know he's probably yelling at me and I want to shut him up. So if the guys are coming to watch me play, I don't want to miss that opportunity. Now, physically, if I can't do it, then I can't do it. But physically, if I can do it, and I just don't feel like doing it, that's a whole different lens.
Garth Gilmore told me one time, he played for Chicago, he said, if you expect to play a long time in this league, you better quit mopping up the floor. And I thought, well, he's crazy because that's what basketball is all about.
Bird takes it away from Wilkins, goes to the floor and gets it. Gets it up ahead.
Jordan didn't just wake up and say, "I'm bored, let me try baseball now." His father was murdered that summer, taken from him during a robbery. James Jordan, the man who pushed him, guided him, and stood by him through every step of his journey, was gone. And at the absolute height of his career, Michael walked away not because he quit on basketball, but because he wanted to honor his father and chase the dream they always talked about: playing professional baseball.
Like you mentioned a little bit about today's game, because we had Clever on here and he talked about load management. He said, I don't know what the hell that is. Where is it going? And that's number one. And number two, how do we get it back?
Even for me, I love the NBA game, but then I turn on to a game, right? And then the stars are not playing because of load management. It's hurting the game.
It might not be in the team's best interest, in your best interest, to play all 82. Is that something you've thought about at all since you made the goal?
That's a goal, but yeah, we see.
I'm available to go and be in the pro. If OBJ shows up, he might score 100.
So when Durant casually throws out, "Some people play baseball," with that smirk on his face, it's not just a clueless comment. It comes off as disrespectful. He reduced one of the hardest chapters of Jordan's life into a quick punchline for a podcast moment. And LeBron sitting right there laughing. That only made it worse, because it showed he was co-signing the moment. Now, let's get into the truth. When did Jordan retire? Was it after losing in the first round? After getting shut down in the finals? Not even close. Jordan didn't walk away after some embarrassing loss or a failed playoff run. He retired after winning his 3rd straight championship. He stepped away at the absolute top, at a level most players only dream about. He pulled off something Magic never did, something Bird never reached, something Isaiah never touched, a real three-peat. And he did it while carrying the weight and heartbreak of losing his father. Coaches, analysts, former players, people who actually understand the game, all agree that Jordan's run from 1991 to 1993 was the greatest stretch of basketball ever witnessed.
This rest stuff just drives me crazy. You're playing basketball for a living, okay? I understand if you're working in a coal mine, that you may need a rest day after it. You're playing basketball.
But you have to really play hard. Does that hurt you physically?
No, because when I play hard all the time. You know, there's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% at all the time.
Yeah, I'm 10, 12 years in, I got 4 MVPs and 4 championships. Like, but do I still want to do this shit? You know what I'm saying?
Because you know how hard it is.
Some people say, I want to go play baseball.
Right?
Yeah. And then I want to come back. Or some people say, I'm going to go 22 straight.
Some even call it the best player at his best, because that's exactly what it was. So trying to twist that into quitting isn't just wrong. It hits as disrespectful. And here's where it gets wild. Look who's making these comments. Kevin Durant, a player fans constantly bring up when they talk about bouncing from team to team. In 2016, after the Warriors knocked him out of the playoffs, Durant didn't run it back, didn't try to get revenge. He joined the same team that beat him. The team with 73 wins, already loaded with Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. People still talk about that move as one of the softest decisions ever made by a superstar. If anyone wants to bring up the word quitting, that moment is the perfect example of it. And it didn't stop there. After he left Golden State, Durant forced his way out of Brooklyn when things got shaky. Then he went to Phoenix and didn't even make it through 3 full seasons before pushing to leave again. And this is the guy taking sly shots at Michael Jordan? This is the guy tossing around hints about who quit. Then there's LeBron. When the pressure in Cleveland started building the first time around, he took off for Miami. When Miami's run started fading in 2014, he dipped back to Cleveland. And when that situation got rocky again, he packed up and headed to Los Angeles. Every time the storm clouds rolled in, LeBron found a new city to call home. So watching these two sit on a podcast and crack jokes about Jordan stepping away after a three-peat right after losing his father takes a whole different level of nerve. And Durant wasn't even finished with the baseball jab. He kept going, talking about how the real goal for a player should be hitting 20 years in the league. Not winning MVPs, not locking in on championships, not pushing your talent to the edge, just staying around. Longevity for longevity's sake. And LeBron nodded along like Durant had just dropped some deep truth. But this is where Jordan's entire mindset shuts their whole argument down without him ever needing to say a word. Jordan never chased longevity. That was never his mission. He chased excellence, season after season. His goal was simple, but ruthless. Maximize himself, maximize his squad, and win at the highest level possible. Championships weren't optional. They were the standard. MVPs weren't bonuses. They were expectations. He dominated on both ends of the floor, pushed his body and mind to the limit. And if that meant he didn't play 20 years, then so be it. Jordan even said it straight. If I burn out, I burn out. That means my career is short, and I'll go play golf somewhere. Now, compare that attitude to Durant's idea of success. Playing 20 years being the goal. Not greatness, not dominance, not legacy. Just sticking around long enough to say you did it. Jordan played 15 seasons total, really only 13 full ones. And in that time, he collected 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 5 regular season MVPs, 10 scoring titles, and made 9 all-defensive teams. That's not just impressive, that's about as close as the sport has ever gotten to perfection. Now look at what Durant and LeBron have done combined. 39 total seasons, almost triple the length of Jordan's prime, and the numbers still don't match up. After all that time, all those miles, and all those roster changes, they've only got 6 championships between them, 5 MVPs, 6 finals MVPs, 5 scoring titles, and 5 all-defensive selections. Almost 40 years on the court. And the combined resume still falls short of what Jordan pulled off in basically a decade. Just let that sit for a second. More time, fewer results. Jordan didn't just talk about pushing himself, he lived it. When he came into the league in 1984 as a rookie, the man played all 82 games right out the gate. Every single one. And that same season, only 40 players in the entire NBA pulled that off. Jordan averaged 38.3 minutes per game, 4th highest in the league, and he ranked 3rd in total minutes played, behind only Buck Williams and Larry Bird. From day one, Michael Jordan was built like a machine. And this wasn't during some soft era where players cruised through the schedule either. The league back then was rougher, more physical, and the lifestyle was way tougher. Teams flew commercial flights, carried tiny staff, and barely had the recovery tools players get now. One trainer, one strength coach, brutal travel schedules, hard practices, non-stop back-to-backs. And players still suited up. Look at the 1999-2000 season alone. 58 players played all 82 games. 58! That tells you everything. Now compare that to today. In 2022, the league had the fewest full-season players in NBA history. Then 2023 broke that record. Then 2024 broke it again. And 2025 followed the same trend. The lowest availability in NBA history is happening right now, in the era where players have every advantage possible. Private planes, massive medical teams, sports science departments, personal chefs, customized diets, hyperbaric chambers, cryotherapy, and million-dollar training equipment. And yet, players are on the floor less than ever. Why? Because the mentality shifted. Jordan explained this without ever needing to say anyone's name. He talked about load management, about resting even when you're not injured, about choosing comfort over competition. He said, "I never wanted to miss a game because it was an opportunity to prove myself. The fans are there watching. I want to impress that guy way up in the top deck, who probably worked his butt off just to afford a ticket." That line showed the entire gap right there. That's the difference. Jordan respected the game and respected the people paying to watch it. He knew being in the NBA was a blessing, not some heavy burden. So when you've got players making $95 million and sitting out because they're tired, it feels like a slap in the face to everyone who saved up to see them play. That's not intensity. That's comfort over responsibility. And then there's LeBron. In more than 20 years in the league, he's only played a full 82-game season one time. Once. Meanwhile, guys like Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, even Allen Iverson, players who played way more physical styles, did it multiple times. But the so-called face of the league, the guy aiming for Jordan's throne, the one pushing the longevity narrative, he's played a complete season just once. And here's the real problem. When LeBron takes days off, when he leans into load management, when he steps aside for rest, the whole league watches. Everyone else follows that example. If the top guy can sit out, then what's stopping anyone else from doing the same? That message spreads fast, and suddenly it becomes normal to treat games like they're optional instead of obligations. Once the stars start resting, it spreads fast. Role players sit out, bench guys sit out, and suddenly the whole league starts acting like regular season games don't matter unless it's playoff time. And now we're seeing players skip playoff games too, which would have been unthinkable back in the day. Jordan's era wasn't like that because Jordan set a whole different standard, and everyone around him followed it. When Michael Jordan was the face of the NBA, players showed up ready to compete every night. Guys played through pain, played through fatigue, and played through pressure because that was the culture. Jordan himself missed 64 games one season with a broken foot, and even then management tried to shut him down for the whole year. But he refused. He came back on limited minutes, and when the game was tight with 30 seconds left, he demanded to be on the floor. The crowd erupted, and Jordan got exactly what he asked for. That's real leadership. There's a story that captures his whole mindset perfectly. Artis Gilmore, a former Bull, pulled rookie Jordan aside and basically told him, "If you expect to play a long time in this league, you better quit mopping up the floor." meaning stop diving for loose balls, stop going that hard. Jordan looked at him like he'd lost his mind and said, "What? He's crazy. That's what basketball's for." That was Jordan. All heart, all hustle, all the time. Jordan and Larry Bird both played fewer than 15 full seasons, and the reason is simple. They left everything on the court every night. Diving for possessions, taking charges, locking down opponents, pushing themselves without pacing or calculating. They weren't thinking about year 20. They were thinking about tonight's game and this year's championship. Meanwhile, Durant and LeBron have been chasing their own personal milestones for years now. Career points, all-time leaderboards, total seasons played, all that. But the funny thing is, the quote people keep twisting wasn't even Jordan trying to brag. He literally said that if he cared about scoring records, he would have kept playing and chased Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But he didn't care about that at all. What he cared about was winning, rings, competing at the highest level, and earning respect the hard way. And there's another angle in all this that people don't want to talk about. In this new podcast era, taking shots at legends has turned into the cool thing to do. It's like everybody suddenly got comfortable throwing shade upward. You've got Jeff Teague, Tracy McGrady, Dwayne Wade, Gilbert Arenas, and now Durant and LeBron all taking shots at Jordan and Kobe. It's open season on the guys who stand at the top of the mountain, and everyone looking up is trying to make a name by dragging the legends down. But here's the truth no one can escape. Jordan never has to answer them directly. His resume does the talking. His 6 rings talk, his undefeated finals record talks, his highlight reel talks. But most importantly, the mentality that shaped the NBA into what it is today talks louder than any podcast clip ever will. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley. Those guys earned everything they got. When the big endorsement deals and corporate sponsors came calling, it wasn't because someone boosted them on social media or pushed a narrative. It was because they dominated, showed up, performed under pressure, and carried themselves like professionals every single night. These legends had already proved themselves long before the big checks came in. They had the game to back up every bit of hype. Today, players are getting max contracts and shoe deals before they even play one NBA minute. They're getting paid off potential instead of performance. And that kind of setup builds a weak mindset. When everything is handed to you early, you don't grind the same. You don't value it the same. You don't push with that hunger that used to define the greats. Jordan's rookie contract was tiny compared to what rookies take home now, and he still fought for every dollar, every shoe deal, every ounce of respect. That fire, that edge, that need to earn it. That's what shaped him into the player he became. And that's exactly the piece a lot of modern players are missing. So when Durant says the goal is playing 20 years, he's showing the difference between his era and Jordan's era in one sentence. Jordan didn't want to stick around. He wanted to dominate. He wanted to be the best in the world. The standard no one could touch. And he did all that in 13 full seasons. Meanwhile, Durant and LeBron have nearly 40 seasons between them, and they're still chasing a shadow they can't reach. And here's the real plot twist. NBC just brought Michael Jordan back into the NBA circle. And you gotta ask yourself why. It's because even after being retired for more than 20 years, Jordan still holds more weight, more cultural power, and more influence than LeBron James and even Adam Silver. When Jordan talks, the entire basketball world listens. When he says players should compete, practice hard, show up every night, and respect the fans, that message hits different. It changes the whole vibe of the league. That right there is Jordan's real response to Durant and LeBron. Not a tweet, not a podcast clip, not a rant. His answer is the fact that his relevance never faded. His answer is that his name still carries more gravity than anyone in the game today. His answer is that when the league needs guidance, when the culture starts slipping, they don't call LeBron. They call Michael Jordan. Durant and LeBron can laugh on their podcast all they want. They can shrug off rings, shrug off the triangle offense, shrug off everything Jordan built. But at the end of the day, every comparison still circles back to him. Every all-time list still starts with him. Every debate still ends with him. And no amount of longevity or stat padding will ever change that. Because Jordan didn't chase years, he chased greatness. And greatness doesn't need 20 seasons to prove itself. It just needs one iconic moment, one legendary game, one unforgettable season to show the world what the top looks like. Jordan didn't have just one of those. He had 13 straight seasons of that energy. And even with nearly 40 combined seasons, Durant and LeBron still haven't matched the impact Jordan created in half the time. So, yes, Michael Jordan responded to Durant and LeBron, just not with words. He didn't need to say their names. His legacy speaks loud enough. His mindset speaks loud enough. His approach to the game still speaks louder than anything they could ever say into a microphone. If you think today's NBA has lost its way, hit that like button. If you believe players need to start respecting the game and the fans again, drop a comment. And if you want to keep getting real breakdowns exposing what's really happening in basketball, make sure you share this video and subscribe.